Okay. Well, hello.
Welcome back, Saints. Here we are with our second match. This is our first match in
ECAC.
ECAC.
Yes.
And tonight it will be the Saints versus the Friars from Provincetown.
Mhm. And to clarify, ECAC is just one of two tournaments that St. Lawrence University will be participating in.
Yep, we have this one, and then we have NACE, which is the league that we were or the tournament that we were competing in um, last match.
Mhm. And to remind you all, tonight we have two of us here. Our other caster is going to be running a little late, so she'll be joining us shortly. My name is Suzanne, and with me is Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
We are actually right across from each other at a good 6 feet distance, because it is very important to social distance.
Yes, always social distance. Also, remember to wear your mask.
Yes, this school is doing well, and we plan to keep it that way. Well, other things we want to touch on are that I'm assuming a lot of you listening tonight may or may not know much about esports, let alone this wacko game called Overwatch. Trust me, it's a lot. It's a lot even to us, and we've been playing it. I haven't been playing it nearly as much as the rest of the players here tonight. Nor, Nick, you've been playing for a while, haven't you?
Not in about a year.
Okay, about a year. Me, I started. Oh my gosh, I started this summer. Yeah, I just joined because a friend wanted me to try it out. Look where I am now. Varsity Esports. Woo! Very exciting. Well, okay, what's going on tonight? We've got. Do you know the maps? Do we look at the maps?
I do not, but I believe is first Lijiang Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the first map of the night will be a map called Lijiang Tower. It is a control point map, kind of a king of the hill in the middle, and it will be the two teams, the Saints and the Friars, competing to see who can hold it for the get it the counter to 100%, 1 second for every point, and win a best. Is it a 2 out of 3 or a 3 out of 5 for the rules?
Not sure. Also, the countdown says we've got less than a minute, but it looks like both sides are still pulling together their teammates. So when this countdown is done, we will just continue to hang out a bit, if that's alright with all of you. It takes a lot just to get all these people in the same room when you're not actually in a physical room, which is pretty odd. What else is there we need to touch on? Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot, as we've already discussed, to anyone new to this sport. And we just want you to know that as casters, we're going to be doing our best to guide you through it, although we will also be trying to keep up with the tactical stuff going on for the players. So bear with us, we're here for you, and we're excited to be sharing this experience with you.
To kind of sum up the game as simply as possible, I think you can kind of separate the game into 3 categories. You have damage that you do to the enemy team, you have healing that you do to your own team, and then you have damage blocked by the tanks. And those are the 3 roles in Overwatch. Each team is made up of 5 members. No, actually 6 members.
6 members? What are you? What are we playing?
It's a little brain
Basketball?
fart. It's a little brain fart. But 6 members, and each 2 of them are tanks, Two of them are what we call DPS, it means damage per second. They are the damage dealers. And two of them are supports, which are usually healers, but they have other utility as well. And those three components of the game, that is basically what you're trying to achieve. Do as much damage to the enemy team as possible, heal your team as much as possible, and then block as much damage as possible.
Mm-hmm. And again, Nick and I are representing two sectors. He is representing the tanks. And when we say representing, it just means that those are the areas we've played personally, because it is important to train for your area, just like you would train for your area in, say, a track and field event. I wouldn't like, it's possible for runners to train to also throw, but sometimes when you get specialized in a sport, you want to focus on your one area. And in this case, our players are focused in their areas on takes, damage, and supports. Nick is tank, representing his tank's knowledge, and I'll be representing my support knowledge. Which is limited, but better than most in these circumstances.
And later, when our other caster will join us, I think she's joining us.
Yeah, running a little late, but yeah.
Yeah, and she, her role is DPS on the team, so she can touch upon that aspect of the game more effectively than perhaps Suzanne and I when she does arrive.
Mm-hmm. Also, we are going by our first names. However, you may notice we're referring to the rest of the team as their gamer tags. We also have gamer tags. They're pretty fun. And we were thinking about referring to each other as our gamer tags, but it can kind of get wordy. For example, what's your gamer tag?
My gamer tag is Point Nemo. For anybody that doesn't know, it's the farthest point in the ocean from any landmass, and it's also where plastic gathers in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, wow, I wasn't expecting that explanation. Mine's a lot less deep and sophisticated. It's called Oi Zoozle, just because people usually say Oi when they try to get my attention, and my nickname has been dubbed Zoozle since I arrived at this school. So yeah, it's not all about the deep places of the ocean, but I like it. And then our friend Emily, who is not here right now, hers is a deep one as well, which puts me really out of place. Oh, I think the game's starting.
And
let's head over.
We are off to the first game.
Initiating.
Oh, look at that chat. So, who's defending, who's attacking?
And as you can see, at the moment we are on Lijiang Tower. You have a large central chamber where the control point will be that we are touching upon. And it is flanked by two kind of narrow corridors that go to each team spawn, where they will be spawning from once they become eliminated.
I'm just going to set myself up here because most of the battle will be occurring in this area. See, the point that they are planning to capture is in fact this rather round
5, 4,
sector right here.
2,
Here we go.
1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Both teams rushing to the point.
Look like the Saints are going with a fairly meaty composition. We have Reinhardt with the big shield, as well as Zarya with her bubble shields for Bjorn, and Junkrat, who can send grenades into a large area. Looks like we got some contesting on the point. The enemy Ryan's shield was broken, and they were able to take him out. And it seems like Blue has a pretty commanding, or Saints have a pretty commanding lead. And a note: when I say Ryan, I do mean Reinhardt, which is the big knight-looking guy. Looks like the Saints are able to hold the Friars in this little choke point here, but they are pushing forward ever so slightly.
ist noch nicht vorbei. Schutzengel ist da. Nap time. This is going to work.
We did have some losses from the Saints, but it looks like they're able to keep a pocket of power on the back foot.
The point is being contested.
A couple of ultimates going off from the Reinhardt ult going off. Over Shatter. Oh, there goes the Zarya ultimate, which is called Graviton Pulse, which pulls everybody in. It looks like the Saints are going to have to regroup as they're being pushed to their spawn.
I think I'm gonna need to adjust some audio settings.
There was an ult from the enemy Reinhardt, which was shut down by our Reinhardt, and then the enemy Hanzo let off an ultimate. But looks like the Saints are pushing forward. Looks like they have the Friars have 3 and are letting off the ultimates at the moment. Look like the Saints are able to get on the point and pick off some of the Friars and engagement over to the side, and they have control right now.
This is a very split match so far.
There's a lot of pushing back and forth. Fairly similar comp from both of the teams as well. Pretty impressive ult from the Reinhardt for the Saints there. I'm able to push the Friars back into their spawn, buying them more time. The Saints are only going to have to hold this point for about 10 more seconds, and then that'll be a win. Ooh, but a nasty ultimate from Neon Jason on the Saints. Took out a lot of members of the Friars. It looks like that is going to be the first round.
Alright. I'm just going to
Score 0.
adjust some sound settings.
Ready for battle.
Here we are on the second point of Lijiang Tower. It's
Not yet. I need to be right back. Hold on. There we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Alright, here we go. Sorry about that, had to adjust some sound settings.
looks like both teams are engaging off to the back of the map here.
Stuck in what we call the white room.
Looks like the Saints are being... Oh, the Saints are
The
flanking a
objective
little bit.
is now active.
But it does seem like the Friars do have control, but it seems like the flanks are going into the point from the windows up top by the Reaper.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Seems like after an initial capture by the Friars, the Saints are able to get control of the point. Shoring up the small lead that the Friars did have at the beginning.
Looks like they're going again around to the white room.
Clearing the area.
But notice that Neon Jason and Trans Rights do kind of have a flank going on around. They have a nasty ultimate by Neon Jason as Pharah. It's a very common strategy to use Pharah with Mercy. It's known as pocketing, so the Pharah is harder to take out in the air as Mercy can fly with Pharah. Seems like that's working out well for the Saints so far.
This is proving to be a very well-matched game.
Here comes an engagement. Oh, a nice ultimate from Drizzle onto the enemy team. And that was almost a team wipe right there.
What would a team wipe be called? A team wipe is usually referred to as a team kill, is it not?
Oh yes, a team wipe or team kill is when the entire enemy team is usually eliminated in one engagement. And it's usually a pretty impressive feat when it is able to be pulled off. Pretty decisive as well. Ooh, seems like a different approach from the Friars, and the Saints seems like they had a little more trouble dealing with it. They didn't have the overhead advantage of their Pharah, but it seems like they did come out in the end, despite being singularity by the Friars, and that will be the second round.
Play of the game.
Ooh, our very own Sputnik GT getting the play of the game this time around.
Quadruple, quintuple kill.
Beautiful, beautiful play by the Saints.
Hold on.
Got a bit of a lull in the action here, as that was the first round in this best of 5. So the teams are just picking the next map, and we will be going over that as soon as that becomes information to us.
Oh, all right. Apologies, I had to take a moment to adjust some sound settings. Apparently all the sound, you didn't, I don't know if you didn't hear it, Nick, but all of the oomph grunts of the people that happen in the game were obnoxiously loud, and I was trying to figure out what was going on with that. But we're all sorted out. Everyone has their technical difficulties in life. Take that to heart. But yes, I didn't really get to talk much about it, but we are off to a great start.
We are also off to the next map, which is going to be Point Gibraltar, set in Gibraltar, the point set off of Spain, owned by the UK. And this is what is called a payload map, so the attacking team, which I believe at the moment, I just have to wait for that to load in, but the attacking team will be trying to escort a sort of cart along a predetermined track, and hitting checkpoints along the way, extending the amount of time they have to get to the end. And their goal is to get to the end. And as they make it to checkpoints, the cart cannot be moved back past those checkpoints. So that will be a big goal for Salute, the Saints, who will be attacking. Seems like they have what is considered a dive composition at this moment, which means getting into the enemy formation very very quickly to do a lot of damage and kind of blitz and overpower. We have for the tanks um, classic Zarya, which is a very good tank. We also have Winston, a giant gorilla who can jump.
Oh,
And we are off.
okay. Oh, there they are. I was like, where are they? Ah,
Yep, seems like the Saints are doing a pretty good job of
Hold on.
pushing the cart.
You-
Take note of the Friars' position, however, above the Saints. This will make it slightly hard for them to get out in the open and move the cart. You can only move the cart when you're sitting on top of it or near it. But it looks like the Saints were able to push off the Friars and won that engagement pretty decisively. Looks like they're going to make it to the first checkpoint fairly quickly.
whew, good to them. Sorry, I took a moment to find where they were. This map is really expansive.
On that push, the Saints did a really good job of splitting up the Friars and moving together, moving that payload.
Ooh, what an ult. It
Seems
looks.
like the Saints are coming in with a similar strategy to the Saints. They have a dive-ish comp, and a lot of change-ups since the beginning of the match too, to maximize range damage, which might be very helpful on this map.
Saints now getting an upper level advantage over the Friars.
They're going to have to look out for the two Friar tanks though, because they are kind of challenging their position, joined by the Mercy for the Friars. It looks like the Slew is pushing them off, trying to gain some ground.
And the cart is moving once again.
Seems like the Friars might need to change up their strategy. They're trying to dive the point and kind of make a distraction while their DPS can get damage in, but it doesn't seem to be working thus far. Really good DPS coming out for the Saints.
Another really by the Friars, a triple kill on the Saints, able to clear the Saints off of that payload again.
Seems like the Saints are going to have to fall back for a regroup here, or threaten losing more of their numbers.
Good use of the map by the Saints to avoid that Diva ult set out by the Friars.
And notice that the Zarya, which is Drizzle on Saints, stood right in front of that big bomb going off, but Zarya has an ability called Bubble Shield, where she puts it on herself and then any damage done to it actually powers her main weapon. So that was a very smart move as well. Got a bunch of free charge off of that ultimate from the Friars. Seems like some very good eliminations from Slew here. A lot of eliminations by the supports, which you don't see very often, but they're able to maintain a pretty healthy lead here. Very good progress thus far.
Leon Jason now really pushing forward for the Saints.
Yeah, it's really helpful for the Saints to do that because they get more time on the point when they can move forward, and it looks like they're nearly at the end. Seems like a big last fight coming up. And that was nearly a team wipe, and it looks like this is going to go to Slew, or the Saints.
Woohoo!
Score 0-3.
We'll see what type of hero changes we see from both teams, switching from attack to defense or defense to attack.
And just to keep up with those not as familiar with the game, on these sorts of maps, you have each team attack and defend. So since the Saints made it to the end of the map, the Friars will have to do that in less time, I believe. Or there will be a tiebreaker if they do both make it to the end.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Seems like both teams are kind of getting into position. The Saints this time has a far more defensive composition, with Sputnik GT going to Sigma, a hero with a shield, as opposed to Winston. But other than that, looks like a pretty similar comp, and a very interesting comp from the Friars, employing the Bastion, which is a mobile machine gun turret. So it's very interesting to see where that will go.
The payload.
Immediately sticking to that high ground.
Seems like ooh, good play from the Saints, picking off that Roadhog and going in for the flank behind the Friars formation.
Yes, a very good move by the Saints. Correct, yes, the Saints are defending. Good push by the Friars here.
Seems like a pretty effective clear from Slew, able to contest that payload and push the enemy team back to their spawn. Friars are coming up for a quite upfront engagement up on the top, and an ult from Sigma. Shout out to Neon Jason on Saints, really ripping apart their formations when they do try to come in with pushes.
Good res by Trans Rights on Mercy to Drizzle, one of Slew's tanks.
Seems like the Friars are making a push, and the rest of the Saints are coming in from the back. Oh, but a nasty ult from Ring King, from the Friars. Might be able to turn this engagement. The Friars did use a lot of ultimates in that engagement though, so it'll be interesting to see if the Saints can get their ultimates up and hold this point. Very classic strategy going on here with Hammond, I believe his name is, the little hamster ball.
The Friars making really good time here, really pushing that payload really far.
Seems like the Saints are setting up for kind of a aerial flank. Catch the Friars when they are right below the bridge. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's just an all-out dive on the Friars. And a nice synthesis of ultimates from the Saints. We had Hardvark using his ultimate along with Drizzle's Singularity really could get them all in one place to do a lot of damage at once. That was a very nice play.
Good team kill by Slew, and as you can see, Neon Jason has his ult still. The Saints once again using that high ground, that bridge and shift.
I think a very disjointed engagement as well, with half the Friars one place and half of them another place. Same with the Saints, though they are converging back on the point, taking out those pockets that we're capturing, but it seems like the rest of the Friars are converging at this point.
They have less than a minute to stop this payload from reaching the yellow point. As it inches, all ults that are available will be used at this time, but it appears only the Lucio, played by Chad Massive, on the other team, has their ult, and... Alright. We have now 2 minutes remaining, and St. Lawrence University will try one last time to stop the push from getting to the final checkpoint.
The very aggressive play coming out from the Friars at the after capturing that checkpoint. Went in, tried to go in for an engagement, and some got picked off. So that will allow the Saints to build up more ultimate charge and hopefully win more engagements.
Once again, Drizzle and Hardvark, both with those ults. We'll see if we see another combo. Same combo, not as effective this time, but still got some kills with that Torbjorn ultimate.
Seems like the Friars... Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Seems like the Saints are tying it up in that engagement. And it doesn't seem like the Friars have that much time left to pose a response. They might have about one more engagement. Here they come.
This could be the last engagement right here. And it looks like Saints have done a very good job at pushing their engagement back.
Good ult usage there, I believe. Were some ults used?
Alright, looks like we've got one more desperate last push coming in. Let's see
Yes,
how
I
the
believe
teams
there
can
was
hold.
Reinhardt ultimate by Sputnik on that last one. And there's the other Reinhardt ultimate.
Ultimates are being used. The payload is being contested. Let's see how they hold.
Really coming down to the wire.
Looks like Neon Jason is holding the point. Alright. Let's see how fast St. Lawrence University can hold this.
Like the danger zone, this is the last fight right here.
This fight will determine the outcome.
Seemed like that last engagement, the Friars had a bit more sustainability than the Saints did, and but the Saints are coming back to try to contest it while the rest of the team get there with the tried and true Hammond combo just circling around the point. Oh, looks like Hammond has fallen, however.
The Saints really trying to contest this point, don't want the Friars to capture it.
This is all about who can touch the point. We've got Mercy on point. We've got Ball on point.
The Saints continue to do it. They're just sticking on it. The other team can't move the point if the defending team is on it. So this is kind of what is going on here.
Oh, there it is. Well done to both teams on that last engagement.
We are not done yet. It's since both teams did make it to the end, they get their time remaining to make a push and try to get as far as possible on this overtime.
Well, actually, now it's a matter of getting all the way through and seeing who can be the fastest, is it not?
I do believe they get the amount of time that they had when they ended. So the Friars will get 1 minute to get as far as possible, and Saints will get 4.
Whoop,
You see the Friars with 1 minute because while in overtime they had no time remaining, so automatically they get a minute, and the Saints got a minute more to their 3:01, which they had remaining when they finished.
This is going to be very tight.
It's like the Saints are setting up for a little sneaky business here on the opener. Well, nope. Well, they do have some. They do have a Junkrat and an Ana, Hardvark, Neon Jason, and Slew. Gonna be doing some flanking, it seems like. But same as before, really. Just contest from the high ground, and that's usually a good place to do it. Seems like the Saints went for an initial flank on that push. Was kind of a stalemate, and seems like the Saints are coming back to try to defend the choke point. Neon Jason doing a very good job of cleaning up some of the members on the Friars.
We are now at overtime.
The Friars trying to get on that point, they just miss it. The Saints are gonna have to get the payload past that point in their 4 minutes.
Which, to put that into context, that is a very good place to have the payload stop. All they have to do is beat where this payload here has left off. Am I correct?
Yes, you are, and it's going to be a nasty fight to try to keep the Saints from getting past that point. It's not particularly far. They didn't even get to a checkpoint. But so we'll see. The Friars are going to have to put up a really good defense.
The reason why it's hard despite not getting to a checkpoint is because of the angles. It's a chokehold, as would be called, around this corner. There are certain points in the map that are harder to stop the payload in than others. Let's see where the defense is setting up.
Looks like the Friars are going with a pretty stonewall defense. They have Robbie with the Reinhardt with the big shield. They have Swampy with the Zarya that just has the bubbles. Very good hero, very good sustainability. And coming out is the hero Mei, which has ice walls, which can be very good for impeding progress.
This is all about slowing down that payload. And for St. Lawrence University, it's about moving that payload forward.
It's like a pretty good start so far.
The Saints really trying to push this rather quickly.
As you can see by the bar just above the term contested, all that the payload has to do is pass that yellow marker on the bar, which is also highlighted by this glowing section right here. It looks like Saints are very close, and they've done it.
That leaves the series at this point at a 2-0. If the Saints can pop out with that next win, that will be the match.
We see here the play of the game in ultimate Diva, Swampy. Good defensive ultimate there.
Just awaiting the information on the next map. Oh, and I guess it is a bit late, but we never acknowledged it. Our co-host Emily has joined us.
Thanks, Nick. Yep, I am here now, ready to watch another game of the Friars versus the Saints.
And I believe the next map, well, we don't know exactly yet, will be an assault map, meaning it is like a payload map that we just saw, but the first point, instead of just being the payload itself, will be a control point, just like the ones that we started with. So the attacking team will have to capture that point, and then we'll have to move the payload through the map, just like on last game.
So, Nick or Emily, I have up on the stream right now an image of Lucio. Would you, either of you, care to talk about who Lucio is?
Sure, yeah, I do play a bit of Lucio. Lucio is a support character, primarily a healer. I believe his nationality is Brazilian, and he skates around playing really cool music that either can heal or speed up his team. And that's kind of the point of Lucio, to get really fast attacks on the enemy team. He's also a very good evasive hero. And his ultimate is called, I believe, Sound Barrier. It just gives every teammate in a certain proximity a huge shield. So really good for dives.
Have we also clarified that every character represents a nationality?
Oh, I did just throw that out there, but I do find it cool how every character does represent a nationality. I think there might be some that do not, but the vast majority of them do.
You know, I'm pretty sure they all do, or at least represent something, although I, for one, cannot remember them all. I know.
Just not sure what Sigma is. Oh, to note, Winston and Hammond, the two animal characters, are from the moon.
Yes, they are from the moon.
I mean, where else would they be from? Makes a lot of sense.
Where else would a monkey and a hamster come from?
I am an environmental studies major, but I am not exactly sure if they inhabit the same ecosystems. And here we are, setting up for the attack. We are on Volskaya Industries. Oh, this is not actually what I described. This is a assault
What?
map. So this is just 2 points that the attacking team has to sequentially capture, just like our first game on Lijiang Tower, but it's just attack and defense, not both teams attacking. It looks like Slew will be on the defense.
It looks like they've already set up a turret. The person who set up a turret, I do remember that his nationality is Swedish. He's the Sweden one. Torbjorn, right?
Yes,
Correct.
it is Torbjorn. Looks like the Friars came out with a pretty aggressive first push, but the Saints are able to hold the line with a nice resurrection coming up on Reinhardt, one of the things that Mercy can do, and she's from Switzerland, I do believe.
Mercy? Who's from Switzerland? Mercy? Oh, that makes sense. I know the American one is.
I believe it is Soldier 76, but also
McCree.
Yes.
Yes, the shooty one. Well, I guess they're all shooty ones. Let's see. For example, the ones that we have here. Yeah, I don't know any of the ones we have here. Never mind. The players who are playing this game right now on our team, I know the majority of them would be able to tell you right away what each player represents nationally.
I think I could do it, but we do have an exciting game going on. Seems like the Saints are kind of putting pressure on that chokehold in the middle there.
That is a very good chokehold to hold, for that matter. Blocking off sight lines using the bridge.
Yes, this first point is really crucial because that choke that they're holding it right now is very hard to get by, and it looks like the Saints are in a very good position. Everybody but Torbjorn, Hardvark having their ultimate ready. So they're ready if the Friars push on them. But it seems like the Friars are amassing their own ults, so we will have a big engagement coming up here soon.
To clarify, the point that they are trying to reach is right behind me. Here we go. This big square sucker.
We
And
just saw 2 ults coming from the Saints, but they still have 4 ults remaining. And now the Friars with all 6 ults up.
The Saints just getting some really nice picks, taking out, eliminating heroes that are kind of in bad positions. And that's able to give them really good ult charge. That's why they have so many ults. That is how you actually generate ultimates. For whatever your character is supposed to do, if you do it well, it generates it on a 0 to 100 scale.
We saw the Friars there try to do a similar combination of ults the Saints used on the last map, using that Zarya ult and a Torbjorn ult. Unfortunately for them, they did not get any kills off of that.
So they are now down to 2 ults on their team, while... Oh, we also have 2 ults, the Saints.
Seems like a nice ultimate coming out from the Friars, Reinhardt. Though that field from Baptiste able to keep them alive, it's a invulnerability field where they cannot die when they're in it.
Invulnerability or immortality? I can't quite remember. Is it... Shh. Apologies, apparently we had not switched the screen. But trust us when we say this match has been going very well.
I hope our commentary has been exciting enough.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it seems like the Saints really came out very well that round. Not letting the Friars bust through that first point, and they're in a very good position for this switch coming up, where the Saints will be on offense.
Ay, ay, ay. Just a reminder to everybody listening that this is very new to us, casting, and we'll eventually get the hang of it. So, thank you all who sat through looking at Lucio while we described a match to you that you couldn't even see.
I mean, we could have just talked about the nationality of all the heroes.
I mean, it did sound like we were continuing to talk about the nationality. Again, thank you all for bearing with us. I'll do a better job. Here we go. What's happening now? We switch sides, right?
Yep, and it seems like the Saints are kind of getting in position for their attack. Kind of a weird a composition coming out from the Saints. Not a bad thing. We see Symmetra, which is a hero I don't think we've seen yet, actually.
I don't think so, yes. Symmetra's a very interesting choice. She can place teleporters down, causing some really fast movement around maps. She also has turrets that act kind of like Torbjorn's turret. And we see now this Symmetra trying to put a teleporter down to get behind the Friars.
Oh, I know exactly what the Saints are doing. Yes, this is a big, big flank. Right around the back. Completely ignoring that choke point in the middle. Let's see how they do on the attack. It seems like they're going to engage.
Now the Saints with the high ground here over the Friars.
The big dive going in. Pretty effectively pushing the Friars back on defense. Able to take out some... and that's the game. Yeah.
Wow.
And
that was fast.
that is the match as well. With 3 wins
boy.
from the Saints. Here we go, Saints.
Here we go, Saints. Apologies again, that part of the match you kind of missed out on.
But you did get to see that really, really nice flank from the Saints. That was a really good move. Caught the Friars really off guard, I feel like. And it was able to allow for a pretty quick win.
So that's the end of it then?
Yeah, no, I believe that will be the end of our stream for tonight. Thank you everybody that did join us for watching and bearing with us. We're still kind of getting used to it, but I hope we're a bit enjoyable to kind of commentate, you know?
I mean, come on, the Lucio that they were looking at was pretty snazzy.
It was pretty snazzy, you're right.
Yeah, we're proud of that. Just wish somebody had told me sooner. Oh well. Mistakes are made, humans are humans. But aside from all that, that was a win from St. Lawrence University, which we should all be very excited about. They did a really well this time around.
Yep.
Saints did.
And for their first ECAC match, for that matter.
And they've been working real hard in practice on strategies to get better, and they're really coming along. That was a really good match.
Yeah, they practice almost every day. I think there's only one day that they get the breather, or 2 days, I'm not quite sure. But they are always here and always practicing, and it looks like we're finally starting to get some payoff. Remember, this is all very new to us as well as them. So for those of you who are sticking around, thank you, and we hope to see you again at the next match.
Thank you and good night. Hope you enjoyed the stream.
Good
Take
night.
care, St. Lawrence.